All right, Lakers Nation, buckle up, because the Western Conference playoff picture is officially on fire, and we got a ton to talk about. If you're a basketball junkie, a diehard Lakers fan, or just someone who lives for the thrill of the NBA postseason, then this is exactly where you need to be. Things are heating up like never before, and we're looking at what could be one of the most intense and dramatic playoff runs in recent memory. From jaw-dropping wins to heartbreaking losses, from last-second buzzer beaters to strategic battles for seeding, the past few days have completely shaken up the landscape. And guess what? The Lakers are right in the middle of this storm, and they've officially found out who their first-round opponent is. Now, while today's matchups didn't carry much weight for the Lakers in terms of standings, that wasn't the case for a whole bunch of other teams in the Western Conference. Outside of the top three squads, the Oklahoma City Thunder, the Houston Rockets, and of course, the Lakers, everyone else had something huge on the line. You could feel the tension in the air. It was win-or-go-home energy, with teams clawing for every inch of playoff security. One of the wildest developments of the day came from the Denver Nuggets. With a crucial win, they managed to grab the fourth seed, allowing them to skip that brutal play-in round entirely. That's huge. Just imagine what was at stake here. Had they lost, they could have easily slipped all the way down to 6th or even 7th, depending on how other games ended. That's how tight everything has been this season. Thanks to that clutch win, Denver now sets up a juicy first-round showdown with the LA Clippers. And speaking of the Clippers, they had a dramatic one of their own, pulling off an overtime thriller against the Golden State Warriors. That game wasn't just for pride. It completely flipped the playoff board. At one point, it looked like the Warriors might steal it, and if they had, everything would have shifted. But the Clippers dug deep, showed heart, and handed the Warriors a ticket to the dreaded play-in. Yeah, you heard that right. Golden State, with all their championship DNA, now has to battle just to make the first round. That's a rough spot for any team, let alone one with so much talent and legacy. But in some ways, it feels like the perfect reflection of their season. Flashes of greatness, but never quite consistent enough to truly dominate. Meanwhile, all this chaos has led us to the next big moment for the Lakers. Their playoff journey officially begins against the Minnesota Timberwolves. Now, let's be honest, if you had to pick between facing the Warriors or the Timberwolves in round one, most people would take Minnesota. Not because they're pushovers, far from it, but the Warriors just have that scary playoff switch they can flip. With guys like Steph Curry, Klay Thompson, and Draymond Green, you can never truly count them out. They've been through the wars, they know how to win in high-pressure situations, and they've got that championship muscle memory. Minnesota, on the other hand, is still finding its footing when it comes to the playoffs. They've got talent, no question, but experience? That's still a question mark. The Wolves wrapped up their season just one game behind the Lakers, with 49 wins to LA's 50. That alone tells you how brutal the Western Conference has been. One off week, and your whole standing can collapse. Head-to-head, the regular season series was split down the middle, 2 wins apiece. The Lakers came out swinging on opening night, grabbing a gritty one by a score of 110-103. It felt like a statement at the time, like they were ready to chase something special this season. But Minnesota punched back hard in the second meeting, blowing out LA by 29 points. That loss was a wake-up call. It exposed some serious issues that needed addressing, and to the Lakers' credit, they responded. As the season progressed, LA made adjustments, reshuffled their rotation, and started to find a better balance. Early on, there was a heavy focus on building the offense around Anthony Davis. And while AD is a monster on both ends of the floor, that approach had its limits. Since then, the team's identity has evolved. They added pieces, refined their strategy, and now they're heading into the playoffs looking far more cohesive than they did back in October. This new version of the Lakers might be exactly what's needed to exploit Minnesota's weaknesses. Some analysts argue that if LA can dictate the pace, slow things down, and force the Timberwolves into half-court sets, they could tilt the series in their favor. But let's not get it twisted. Minnesota is no joke. They've got a solid core, and when their stars are firing, they're a real threat. Their roster is athletic, physical, and capable of going on scoring runs that can bury you in minutes. The big question is consistency, especially under pressure. One of their key players has had notable playoff struggles in the past, and you can bet the Lakers are going to test him early and often. There's a mental side to this game, and you have to wonder, can Minnesota's young core hold it together when the lights are the brightest? Lakers fans are cautiously optimistic, and honestly, that's the right mindset. Nothing's guaranteed in the playoffs. One off night can swing a whole series. But if this Lakers squad can stay healthy, play disciplined basketball, and lean into their experience, they've got a real shot to go deep. The hunger is there. The pieces are there. Now it's about execution. And don't forget about the rest of the conference. The chaos doesn't stop with just LA and Minnesota. The team at the very top of the West still doesn't know who they'll face. That's the kind of drama we're dealing with. A lot is riding on those final play-in games, and one or two results could create a completely different path for multiple teams. There's even chatter about a potential rematch in the next round between some familiar rivals. But first things first, the Lakers have to take care of business. They can't afford to look past Minnesota. This matchup is going to test them, especially in the paint, where the Timberwolves have real size and presence. LA needs everyone locked in on offense, defense, and mentally. Playoff basketball is about the little things, the details. It's not always the flashy plays. Sometimes it's boxing out, rotating on time, or hitting that clutch corner three when it matters most. The pressure is real. The stakes couldn't be higher. And the path to a championship is as treacherous as ever. But that's what makes this time of year so incredible. The journey is just beginning, and the Lakers are right there in the thick of it. You can feel it. Something special might be brewing. All right, let's keep this momentum going because there's still a lot to unpack when it comes to this Lakers-Timberwolves series and the wider Western Conference chaos. Look, anyone who's followed the Lakers this season knows it's been a roller coaster. But somehow, someway, they've pieced it together at the right time. And now, heading into this opening round, there's real belief, not just hope, that this team can make a legitimate run. But belief alone isn't enough in the playoffs. It takes grit, health, strategy, and execution. And it starts with the core, especially Anthony Davis. AD's role in this series cannot be overstated. He's going to be the difference maker, particularly on the defensive end. Minnesota has two bigs who can cause all sorts of problems. Karl-Anthony Towns with his versatility and Rudy Gobert with his rim protection and rebounding. But here's the thing. If Anthony Davis is locked in, if he's anchoring that paint, contesting shots, cleaning the glass, and making those timely rotations, it changes the entire dynamic. Offensively, he's going to get his looks. But this series is about setting the tone defensively, about being the wall that Minnesota runs into possession after possession. Because if the Lakers can control the paint, they'll force Minnesota to rely on perimeter shooting under pressure. And that's not exactly their comfort zone. Now beyond Davis, guys like D'Angelo Russell, Austin Reeves, and Rui Hachimura become absolutely vital. They're the glue that keeps this offense fluid. Russell, in particular, has a chance to make a real statement. He's had an up-and-down time in the playoffs throughout his career, but this series offers a chance at redemption. His shooting, his playmaking, and most importantly, his decision-making in crunch time. All of that will be under the microscope. Austin Reeves brings that relentless energy. He's crafty, he's fearless, and he can get hot quick. If he finds his rhythm early in the series, he could be the X factor that swings momentum when it matters most. And Hachimura, don't sleep on him. He's got the size to be a problem for Minnesota's wings, and his ability to stretch the floor or post up when needed gives the Lakers another layer. Let's not forget the bench. This is where the depth the Lakers have built starts to matter. If Gabe Vincent is healthy and ready, his shooting and court vision could give LA a reliable second-unit leader. Jared Vanderbilt, with his defense and hustle, could be a key weapon against someone like Anthony Edwards. These guys don't need to score 20 points a night, but they do need to bring impact minutes. Defense, rebounding, spacing, these little things add up. Because in a 7-game series, it's the role players who often end up as the heroes. And speaking of Edwards, he's the wild card for Minnesota. When he's on, he's electric. He can take over a game in minutes. He's explosive, confident, and built for big moments. But he's also still learning the ropes of playoff basketball. The question is, can the Lakers rattle him? Can they throw enough looks, enough physicality, enough mental challenges at him to make him hesitate? That's where guys like Vanderbilt and even LeBron come into play. They've seen it all. They know how to disrupt rhythm, how to bait young stars into mistakes. Which brings us to the king, LeBron James, 39 years old, still out here doing things no one his age should be doing. His basketball IQ, his control of tempo, his leadership, this is when it matters most. If there's one player who understands how to rise to the occasion, it's LeBron. And let's be real, he's been pacing himself for this moment. Expect him to flip that playoff switch, bring the intensity, and set the tone from the jump. He doesn't need to average 30 points. What he needs is to lead, to create for others, to defend, and to deliver in the clutch. That's his role now, and he thrives in it. But even with all this talent, this isn't going to be a walk in the park. Minnesota is dangerous. They're big, they're physical, and they're hungry. They feel like they've got something to prove, and sometimes that hunger can carry a team further than expected. They're going to test the Lakers' discipline. They're going to push the pace when they can, try to force turnovers, and attack in transition. If LA gets lazy in their half-court sets or gives up easy buckets in transition, they could find themselves in trouble real quick. The key for the Lakers is pace control. Minnesota thrives in chaos. They love getting up and down, forcing broken plays, and scoring off mistakes. But in a slow, methodical half-court game, that's where LA can shine. That's where their experience becomes a weapon. By forcing Minnesota to grind out possessions, to execute under pressure, the Lakers can expose their inexperience. And defensively, the strategy has to be sharp. The pick-and-roll coverage, especially when Towns or Gobert are involved, has to be disciplined. Any lapse in communication, any late rotation, and the Wolves will make them pay. That's why the Lakers need to be sharp every single possession. Another layer to this series? Coaching. Playoff basketball is a chess match. It's about adjustments, game to game, sometimes possession to possession. The Lakers' head coach has taken a share of criticism this year, but now's the time to silence the doubters. It's not just about game plans. It's about managing minutes, recognizing momentum shifts, knowing when to ride the hot hand or when to tighten up the rotation. And Minnesota's coach? He'll be trying to outmaneuver as well. This could come down to which staff can better anticipate the other's moves and exploit the mismatches. Momentum, emotion, pressure, these are real factors. A big call by the refs, a technical foul, a missed free throw. Any of it can swing a game and ultimately a series. That's why emotional control is key. The Lakers need to stay locked in, especially in road games. Minnesota's crowd will be loud, the atmosphere hostile. But if the Lakers let frustration creep in, if they start arguing with refs or turning on each other, it'll open the door for the Timberwolves. They have to stay composed, focused, and together. Look, this thing might go 6 or 7 games. It has that kind of feel. Minnesota is not just going to roll over. They'll fight, and they'll do it with urgency, especially if they lose game 1 or fall behind early in the series. That's why the Lakers can't let their foot off the gas. 1-1 means nothing if you relax the next night. The urgency has to be there every single game. Now, looking beyond just this matchup, the rest of the West is a madhouse. No one's safe. The top seed still doesn't know who they're going to play. And there's a chance we see some seriously iconic battles in the later rounds if the right teams survive. Before we continue, we ask that you leave a like and subscribe to the channel so you won't miss any exclusive Lakers updates. Moving on. The Los Angeles Lakers are reportedly eyeing one of the NBA's brightest young stars, De'Aaron Fox, as a potential acquisition to bolster their roster. Fox, the Sacramento Kings' electrifying point guard, has turned heads in recent seasons with his blazing speed, clutch performances, and explosive scoring ability. After a standout 2023 campaign, where he not only earned his first All-Star selection, but also led the Kings to their first postseason berth since 2006, the buzz around Fox's future in Sacramento is growing. With the Lakers' ongoing pursuit of another superstar to complement LeBron James and Anthony Davis, the possibility of Fox donning purple and gold has generated significant intrigue in NBA circles. Fox's breakout season was highlighted by his ability to take over games when it mattered most. His clutch performances earned him the inaugural Clutch Player of the Year award, cementing his reputation as one of the league's most dependable finishers in pressure situations. However, it wasn't just his poise under pressure that made Fox a standout. It was his all-around game. Averaging a career high in points and assists, Fox proved that he could be both a scoring threat and a playmaking force on the floor, something the Lakers desperately need as they search for the next guard to run their offense in the post-LeBron era. His historic scoring outburst in mid-November 2024 was a clear testament to his growing dominance. Fox dropped 60 points in a thrilling overtime loss to the Minnesota Timberwolves, setting a new Sacramento Kings franchise record for most points in a game. The very next day, Fox nearly matched that feat, scoring 49 points in a win over the Utah Jazz, solidifying his place as one of the most dangerous and consistent players in the league. His ability to put up jaw-dropping numbers in back-to-back games puts him in an exclusive club, joining legends like Kobe Bryant and Wilt Chamberlain. These performances have made it impossible for any team, including the Lakers, to ignore his potential impact. For the Lakers, acquiring Fox could mean adding a dynamic guard who can take over games both in the regular season and during the playoffs. With LeBron James entering the later stages of his illustrious career, the Lakers need someone who can step into the spotlight and help lead the team during crucial moments. Fox's explosive scoring ability, combined with his newfound leadership, would make him the perfect fit alongside Davis in what could be an exciting new chapter for the Lakers. The prospect of pairing Fox with two of the NBA's biggest stars could propel the Lakers back into championship contention. As the trade rumors swirl, all eyes will be on Sacramento to see how they handle Fox's future. While the Kings have made great strides in recent years, they may struggle to keep their young star if the Lakers come knocking with an enticing offer. For now, the basketball world waits with bated breath to see whether Fox will stay loyal to Sacramento or take the leap to join one of the most storied franchises in NBA history. One thing is for certain. The Lakers' interest in De'Aaron Fox could be the beginning of a thrilling new era in Los Angeles basketball. Stay informed exclusively about Los Angeles Lakers news. Subscribe to our channel and hit the like button to keep receiving daily updates. Also, share your opinion on the news in the comments, as your contribution is crucial for the Lakers. Stay tuned for the next video.